I do love a bit of a cruise, you know, the live experience. You can't get that in the hookup apps, I'm telling you. You know, cruising is one of those things that you discover as a young gay person when you go out on the scene for the first time, along with the secret histories, the folklore, the oral traditions. I remember when I first started going out on the scene, there was this guy who I used to see around the place in various different smoking areas who would point me in the direction of all these little bits and pieces of buried treasure. Now, at the time, I would have perceived him to be an elderly person.
Oh, the nerve! The absolute nerve, talking to a younger person in a public bar. Oh my God, where anyone could see. On behalf of my people, the elderly, I would like to issue a formal apology to Stefan. That was disgraceful. It should never have happened. Measures will be put in place to make sure it never happens again. I know, like maybe we should look at the possibility of taking all the queers over the age of 30 and we can all go and live in a home. Or some sort of fenced-in park.
Ooh, like an amusement park. What would you call something like that, Kay?
I don't know. Jurassic World.
Jurassic World.
Seriously though, the smoking area is a minefield when you get to my age. There's nothing quite so terrifying as an attractive, friendly young person who decides to take an interest in you. They're the stuff of nightmares. Thankfully, most of the time if you just stand very, very still, they'll ignore you and go away.
So anyway, this elf fella, let's call him George to protect his anonymity. So I would see George about the place in various different smoking areas, and he would point me in the direction of all these amazing little tidbits of queer history. He would tell me about Oscar Wilde and the Irish gay rights movement and the single most important part of my queer education, which was undoubtedly the twink answering machine message. Very, very important. So I remember seeing George in the smoking area, funnily enough, of the George. And it was the week after the marriage equality referendum had happened. And I sidled up to him, and you know, we were having a little chat, and I was getting very animated and excited, and I was like, do you know what? This is so amazing, George. I mean, you've lived through the decriminalization of homosexuality, and, you know, the AIDS crisis, and now we've voted in marriage equality by popular consensus. I mean, how does it feel, George? And he sort of fixed me with a death stare. And he said, well, Stefan. And he's got a sort of like sibilant test, because he's a distasteful homosexual. And he said, well, Stefan, some of us never necessarily wanted to get married. And some of us just wanted to go up to Phoenix Park and have the ride and get fucked in the ass. And we wanted to go to the sauna, Stefan, and suck cocks. Or we wanted to go to leather bars. And you'd be there getting pissed on by some bummer from Ballyfermot while Patty was over in the corner pulling beans out of her asshole. And you know who you'd see there? You know who you'd see in those leather bars, Stefan? You would see Anne Doyle. A gay bar was not a gay bar in the 1980s without Anne Doyle sat there, Cadbury in hand, propping up the bar next to two leather daddies. And some of us just wanted to get pissed on in front of Anne Doyle. Is that so much to ask? In post-marriage equality Ireland. Because I don't know about all of this respectability, Stefan. I will not be sanitized. And I was like, George, you're kind of speaking my language. And then he lit himself up another little cigarette, took a drag, and said a little something that went like this. Now, listen up. Here's a story about a little guy who lives in a blue world. And all day and all night, everything is blue for him and himself and everybody else. His house with a blue little window and a blue Corvette, and everything is blue for him and himself and everybody else, 'cause he ain't got nobody to listen. I'm blue, DaBaDee, 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 have a blue house with a blue window. Blue is the color. Blue on the trees and on the streets are blue. I have a girlfriend. Plot twist. And she is so blue. Blue are the people here that walk around. Blue like we call it, it's raining outside. Blue are the words I say and what I think. Blue are the fields that live I mean. I'm blue, DaBaDee, 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 Stop the music. George Michael! Why have you forsaken us, George? Why have you forsaken us? We weren't ready for you to go yet, George. We weren't ready for you to go. Where are the unapologetic faggots having sex in public toilets, getting caught, outed, and then writing fucking disco songs about it? Outside was a huge hit, George. It was a huge hit. Because I don't know about all of this respectability, George. I'm not a respectable gay. I will not be sanitized, George. Because you know what those gays do? You know what those respectable gays do, George? You know what they do? They lift the ladder up after themselves, and they leave the rest of us faggots down here on our knees. Fortunately, I myself do very well on my knee. I'm blue, DaBaDee, 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 DaBaDee.